Got a little thing today from a friend about the sinking of the Estonia, which sank in September 28th, 94. It was a car ferry. It was on a trip between Estonia and Sweden, a routine trip done many times. I never thought anything of it, never really researched anything with it. I started reading and studying about this, and I've got a very good BS meter, and my BS meter went off the scale on this one real quick. There's no question there was a cover-up with this case. The History Channel did a little thing on it. Mentions, even they tried to investigate it and were stonewalled. Right after the ship sank, the Swedish government and Finland and Estonia all said they were going to do, investigation and bring up all the bodies, and it's only sank in about 300 feet of water, and it's not that far off the shore. So it wouldn't be all that difficult to do that. And then all of a sudden, they started getting all these BS stories, and there's no question there's a cover-up. They won't let anybody go down there and investigate this. Won't let anybody go look at this. Now, why? Why is that? Even more strange. There's several crew members that had survived have disappeared, including the captain. The captain was reported in a couple of newspapers as surviving, and was recovering in a hospital. And all of a sudden he disappeared. No explanation what happened to him. So when you have a cover-up like this, it's clear, somebody has something to hide. And then the official explanations don't wash either. There's these official explanations, like official explanations of 9/11, how the Trade Center came down. But the Estonia is even more ridiculous. Now, I know a fair amount about physics and engineering. I was a physics major and then studied engineering in the university. I was also in the Navy, so I do know a thing or two about ships. The version is the nose of the ship is designed to lower down so cars could drive in there. And the nose broke off from the waves, and and then the ship filled up with water and sank. It's just absolutely ludicrous. The nose is several feet up off the water. Ships are designed to take a lot more punishment than that. These are like 12, 15-foot seas, which, that's kind of rough, but it's not that rough. When I was in the Navy, I was just a simple frigate, which is not the most seaworthy of all ships either. And we were in 30-foot seas. That got a little rough. The most exciting thing we ever did, we took a 50-degree roll. That's, this is about a 50-degree roll right here. That was a little exciting. It was down on the mess deck, and we were watching a movie. It was a holiday routine during Sunday, and the screen went like this, and I heard all these pots and pans falling in the kitchen, and had to kind of hold on to the table. The tables are all bolted down. Another time we hit a wave real hard, and bang, it damaged the steering and stuff on that, and that's when they decided to change course. Because the way you're hitting into the waves depends a lot on how hard you're hitting those waves, and so you can change course and speed. It can make a big difference in how hard you're hitting the waves. Ships are designed so that waves can actually come right over the bow, and these waves weren't coming over the bow by any means. They were just splashing up against it, and supposedly this thing fell off. Water would have just poured in there slowly. It would take an hours to fill up, and all they had to do is change course, and it wouldn't have filled up at all. And for, the whole ship to just go down in like 20, 30 minutes, and, it's a bunch of BS. Witnesses said they heard a bang, probably an explosion, I would say. The whole, another thing, right after the thing, they said that they found that the nose piece was laying on the floor right next to the ship. Then later on, they said it was a mile away, and then the Swedish government pulled it up out of the water, so you can't prove it anything. But there's an old sonar picture that surfaced that showed the nose sitting right next to the bow, which means it probably broke off when it hit the bottom of the ocean floor. Didn't break off before. If it had broke off before, it would have been a mile or more away. So, I mean, it's just one lie after another. So now you got to ask is, why is there a cover-up? Because there's been other accidents where there's no cover-up, but this is such a this is a more obvious cover-up than 9/11. Well, it was known. These are facts. Okay, a lot of smuggling going on board this ship, a lot of contraband, and also it's known that there were military technology being smuggled out of Russia, and I guess being sent to Sweden and on to other places. This is a fact. There was a customs official who actually was interviewed and said, yeah, he was told there's certain things he was told not to look at, not to just to pass it through without inspecting it, which he thought that was strange, but he said orders are orders. I suppose that, some people come up with the argument that, the Russians sank this ship because they didn't want their technology getting into other people's hands, and there's, of course, that'd be one explanation. But that doesn't wash because the cover-up is international. The History Channel thing, while in the beginning of the History Channel thing, a typical mainstream media thing, they act like they're making a real investigation. Well, there's some strange things going on here. There seems to be some kind of cover-up going on, and then later on they start laughing about, oh, those conspiracy theories are nonsense. The typical, they always do that. Make it sound like they're being unbiased and making a real investigation to find the truth, and then they just poo-poo the whole thing later on. They do that all the time. I've seen countless documentaries, doing that kind of crap. The only explanation for the international cover-up, and it's clear there was an international cover-up, Sweden, Estonia, and Finland were clearly involved, but also even the United States, and the whole main news networks, Reuters and all that, was clearly involved with the cover-up. So what's the explanation? Well, one of the pieces of technology that supposedly was rumored to be coming out of there was this space technology that the Russians had come up with using magnets for propulsion. And it was cheap. It only cost like $1 million for a little odd thing you could put in the palm of your hand. Now, this kind of technology could get us off of fossil fuels and things like that. And, oh my God, we can't allow that. We can't allow that kind of technology to ever come forward. We got to keep using this 150-year-old internal combustion engine until we pulled every drop of oil out of the earth and turned oil shale and coal into oil until there's absolutely no possible way of producing any more oil on this planet. Could we ever get rid of this 150-year-old, which by then will be 1,000-year-old technology? That's my theory. Of course, there could be other reasons. There might have been other things going on. But the one thing I'll just say is this Estonia, the story of the Estonia, the official story is BS. This is one of the most blatant and obvious international cover-ups, and also it's proof of what some people call the New World Order. There's an international organization that controls the whole world, and this is proof of it. Because why the international cover-up? Russia is supposedly the enemy, of the Western world. But here, Russia and the East and West are both obviously working hand in hand in this case, and there's other cases I could cite that do the same thing.